Hello, I'm the Video Professor, and you are about to learn software by means of a creative new concept in the computer industry. I'll take you step by step through learning your new software package. On the screen now are some other tapes available in my series. With them, you can watch and learn at your own speed. Stop and practice anytime you want, and review topics you don't understand. I suggest that you view each tape in its entirety. Then go back through the lesson with your computer and your software and practice each step. All of my tapes are designed to get you up and running quickly. Once you have viewed and practiced everything that is on these tapes, I think you'll find your software manual much easier to understand. And now, let's get started. Welcome to my introductory tape on Lotus 123, a fascinating program. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to my student helper, Pam.
Hello, Professor.
Hi, Pam. Now that we have all met, let's talk about your computer. I can't see your computer, so I have to assume that Lotus 123 is installed properly for your system, and you know whether you are using a dual floppy system or one with a hard disk. If you are not sure about this, please take the time to read the Getting Started manual supplied with your Lotus program. It will tell you about the installment of your system. If you have to stop the tape and come back later, we will understand. If you are on a dual floppy system, you should have the Lotus system disk in drive A and a disk for storing your spreadsheets in drive B. If you are using a computer with a hard disk, you should be logged with the subdirectory where Lotus 123 is located. If you installed it according to the instructions, the subdirectory name will be none other than Lotus. I will assume that you are all set and you have an A prompt or C prompt on the screen. All you need to do is type Lotus and press Enter. The Lotus Access System menu is now being loaded into the memory of the computer. This screen is called the Lotus Access System menu. We're not going to waste much time here, but take a minute to read the information. Once you have read it, notice that 123 is highlighted in the upper left corner of the screen. You'll learn more about menu selection in a few minutes, so for now, just press Enter to start 123. By the way, while we're waiting for this program to load, perhaps you might like to know what Lotus and 123 all mean.
You're right, Professor. I was wondering what it meant.
Well, Lotus is the name of the company. Its full name is Lotus Development Corporation. Each of the numbers 1, 2, and 3 stands for the three functions this program will perform for you. The program is referred to as an integrated program because it will allow you to create spreadsheets which are similar to accountant's worksheets, but they have a memory. Then you can create graphs from the information in the spreadsheet. Graphs and pie charts are great tools for showing business information. Finally, you can create a database in 123. A database is a way of collecting information and then sorting it like you would in a phone book. The wonderful thing about 123's database is that if you know how to use the spreadsheet, the database is very easy to learn. We won't be learning about graphics or the database today because the spreadsheet is the foundation for the other two parts of the program. This is where we have been headed, the screen where you do most of your work. Let's take a look around and see what this all means. See the letters A through H on the screen? These are called columns. There are 256 columns in 123. They are labeled A through IV. The numbers down the left side of the screen are called rows. There are 8,192 rows in 123, and they are numbered 1 through 8,192. Imagine lines running up and down between each column and back and forth across each row. Think of a spreadsheet as an accountant's worksheet or a ledger pad. You may have used one of them before. In fact, there are over 2 million places to enter information in 123. And each of these places is called a cell. A cell is the intersection of a column and a row. Notice the highlighted area at the intersection of column A and row 1. This is called the current cell. Think of the cell pointer as your pencil and the current cell as the area you will write in. Look in the top left corner of the screen. This whole area above the spreadsheet is called the control panel. Notice that A1 is displayed there. This is the current cell address. As you move around in the spreadsheet, the current cell address will always be displayed right there. See the little blinking square? That is the cursor. Here is a closer look at the cursor. The cursor moves to the control panel as soon as you begin to type and is used for editing cell entries before placing them in the spreadsheet. This is the mode indicator. It tells you what's going on. Right now it says ready. That means, hey you, I'm ready for some input. I'll point out the different messages in the mode indicator as we go along. Down in the left-hand corner, the date and time are displayed. Well, Pam, are you ready to move along?
You bet. Let's go.
The first thing we'll learn is how to move around in 1, 2, 3. See the arrows on the numeric keypad? They help us move the cell pointer. Now press the right arrow a few times. See the cell pointer jumps from cell to cell. Now let's press the left arrow a few times and look what happens.
Professor, this H cell on the far right, is that as far as we can move the cell pointer?
Good question, Pam. New columns will appear at the right side of the screen. Think of the screen as a window that allows you to view a portion of the spreadsheet. The same thing happens when you move up and down on the spreadsheet. Now press the down arrow key a few times. In fact, hold it down for a few seconds and watch how fast the rows scroll into view. Also, watch the numbers on the A prompt as they move so quickly. Find the home key just above the left arrow. Press it and watch what happens.
I see. The cell pointer went back to A1.
Now press the page up or down key 2 or 3 times each. This allows you to scroll a whole screen full or 20 rows at a time. Up or down, whichever direction you want to go. Just push the button. Now press the home key again to return to A1. Next we'll go to the right a full screen. Hold down the control key and press the right arrow. Did you see? The screen jumped to the right 8 full columns. Go back to the left by pressing control left arrow. If you have a problem, just hit the home key to get back to A1. If not, press home key again. See how easy that is? We're going to learn how to go to any cell in your spreadsheet, so look at the function keys. Oh, by the way, did you find that piece of plastic that fits over the top of the function keys? That is the template and tells you what each function key is used for. If you don't have it on your keyboard, put me on hold and find it. The function key F5 is used to go to any cell in the spreadsheet. Press the function key F5. Look up in the control panel. Notice that 1, 2, 3 is asking you to type the cell address you want to go to. All you do is type the column first and the row second and press enter. Try it. Type L56 and press enter. If you make a mistake, just press the backspace key to fix it and continue typing. There. Look at the cell pointer. It is sitting at L56. Now press the home key to return the cell pointer to A1. Let's talk about cell entries next. There are only 3 things you can enter in a 1, 2, 3 spreadsheet. Labels, a label is text, numbers, and formulas. Let's start by entering some text. Why don't we type your first name? See your name appear in the control panel as you type. If you make a mistake, fix it by pressing the backspace key and continue typing. Now press enter. Look at that. Your name appeared in cell A1 and it is also next to the cell address in the control panel. Everything you enter in 1, 2, 3 will appear in both places. Formulas appear in the control panel and the results appear in the spreadsheet. Do you see the extra character in front of your name in the control panel? That is a label alignment character. 1, 2, 3 places words in the left side of the cell unless you tell it otherwise. To see what this is all about, press the down arrow key 1 time and enter the word bill. If you are still unsure about this, don't worry about it. You'll get more comfortable with the process the more you use it. Just type it in and press enter. See the word bill in cell A2? It also appears in the control panel preceded by the label alignment character. How about typing Bill again and centering it this time? Press the down arrow key and move the cell pointer to A3. Type a caret, the word Bill, and press Enter. See, the word is centered in the cell. Notice that the caret appears in the control panel but not in the cell. Go ahead, on your own, enter Bill again. Only this time, make it right aligned using a double quote as a label alignment character. The result should look like our screen does now. Numbers are always aligned at the right side of the cell, and you can't change their alignment. If you type a label alignment character in front of a number, Lotus thinks it is a label and won't perform calculations with it. We're going to erase part of our spreadsheet next, and this means you will need to know how to use 123's menus. Menus provide you with simple ways to perform tasks in 123. All you need to do is pick the option you want from the menu, and 123 performs the task for you. As an example, we will need to erase some of the cell entries we have made, and we'll select options from menus to do this. Let's erase your name at A1, okay? Start by moving the cell pointer to A1. You could press the Home key to get there. Now we use the slash key to bring up 123's menu for this operation. Press the slash key and look in the control panel. This is the main 123 menu. Each word on the top line is a selectable option. Notice that Worksheet is highlighted. If you press the right arrow key, the next option is highlighted. Did you notice that the words in the second row changed when you pressed the right arrow key? The second row shows the menu or task that you will get if you select the highlighted menu option from the top row. Practice a little by pressing the right arrow and left arrow keys and watching the messages and menus on the second menu row change as you highlight each main menu option. There are many tasks that can be performed using 123's menus, and it may seem difficult at first to know what to pick next. I'll take time now to talk about some of these tasks. If you select Worksheet from the main menu, you are presented with a menu that you can use for the following. Insert. Inserts new rows or columns in the spreadsheet. Delete. Removes rows or columns. Erase is used to clear the worksheet on the screen so you can start working on a new one. Column is used to change the width of columns. And I didn't discuss all the options found under Worksheet. The rest will be covered in a later lesson. The next main menu option is Range. Use Range when you want to erase part of the spreadsheet or change the appearance of numbers to dollars and cents by selecting the Format option. The Erase option is the most important because you use it to erase part of the current spreadsheet. You will use it in this class. Copy is used to duplicate the contents of a cell. You will use it to copy formulas from one cell to another. File is used to save and retrieve the spreadsheets you create in 123. Print is used to print the current spreadsheet. As you work with 123, the menus will become very easy to use. A good exercise is to move the highlight around the menus and select different options. Then read the message or menu that is shown on the second line. The manual that comes with 123 has an illustrated guide that shows the layering of all the menus. You may want to spend some time studying it. Now, how do you select an option from the menu? One way is to highlight the option you want and press Enter. Go ahead and follow along. Point to Range with the right arrow key and press Enter. There, we are in the Range menu. There is another quicker way of selecting a menu option. You simply type the first letter of the option you want. Let's select the next option by typing its first letter. The option we want is Erase, so press E to select it. That's all there is to using menus. We will finish this task in a minute. Right now, let's see how we escape from a menu. Press the Escape key to get out of this task. Go ahead and press Escape again. Now we're out of this task. Now press Escape again. See, you are back at the Range menu. Press it again and you are back at the main menu. If you press it again, you will be returned to the spreadsheet and no menu will be displayed. There, that was easy. We need to erase cell A1 next, so press slash to bring up the menu and press R to select range from the main menu. The range menu should be on the screen now. Good, press E to select erase. Notice that the suggested range is A1 ... A1. The two dots mean through. So, you see, 1, 2, 3 is suggesting that you erase A1 through A1, and coincidentally, that is what we want to erase. Of course, we knew that. That's why we put the cell pointer there first. Go ahead and press, you guessed it, Enter. Now let's erase the word bill at A2. To do this, press the down arrow key once. Press slash to bring up the menu, press R for the range, and E for erase, and Enter to finish. That is great. The next thing we need to talk about is ranges. There are all examples of valid ranges. A range can be a single cell or any group of cells. The only rule is that all ranges be rectangular. These are examples of invalid ranges. 1, 2, 3 won't even allow you to highlight ranges that are not rectangular or unconnected. Let's see how we highlight a range of cells by erasing the rest of the cells on your spreadsheet that contains entries. Cells A3 and A4 both need to be erased. Let's start by moving the cell pointer to A3. Remember how to bring up the menu? That's right. Press slash, press R for range, and E for erase. And here we should be back to the range to erase prompt. The dots between A3 and A3 indicate through, as I mentioned before, and they also mean the cell pointer is anchored, which allows you to expand it to highlight a range of cells. Press the down arrow key once to see what I mean. The range to erase is A3 through A4. What do you think you will do to finish the command, Pam? That's right, press Enter. There, we have a nice clean work area to start creating a real spreadsheet. Look at this spreadsheet for Cam's cookie cutters. We're going to create this spreadsheet and let 1, 2, 3 calculate the totals for us. Let's see. We'll need to type Cam's cookie cutters in B1. Place the cell pointer in B1 and enter Cam's cookie cutters. Whoops, that sticks clear over into column D. Do you suppose that creates a problem? No, it doesn't. The contents of the cell will display even if it is too wide for the cell. The only thing you have to do is make sure you don't type anything in cell C1 or D1, because those entries will cover up the part of B1 extending beyond the boundary of the cell. Move the cell pointer to B2, and let's type the days of the week beginning with Monday across row 2. Don't get ahead of me by pressing Enter. I want to show you a shortcut. Type Monday as usual, but instead of pressing Enter, press the right arrow key. Notice that the text appeared in the cell, and the cell pointer moved one cell to the right, which is where we are going to enter our next day. Go ahead, enter the rest of the weekdays just as Pam is doing, and move the cell pointer to A3 when you are done. Next, let's add the names of Cam's favorite cookie cutters, Bill, Mary, and Liz, in column A. Use the same method we did with the days of the week, but use the down arrow key instead. Press Enter after Liz to leave our cursor there. I noticed that the words Wednesday and Thursday in row 2 bump into each other, and Bill, Mary, and Liz are pretty short entries. Let's make column A narrower just for looks. Let's see. The cell pointer needs to be in column A. That's good. Bring up the menu. Remember, press slash. Next, we need to select Worksheet from this menu by typing a W. That brings up the Worksheet menu. Select Column by typing a C. The next menu suggests Set Width, Reset Width, Hide, or Display. Press an S to select Set Width. Reset Width returns the current column width to the normal or default setting of 9 if it has previously been changed. The other two options on this menu will be covered in an advanced lesson. We could calculate the column's width necessary to display the longest word in column A, but let's do it the easy way. Simply press the left arrow key until the column is only one character wider than the word Mary. You should end up with a column width of 5. There. Press Enter to finish and return to the spreadsheet. Next, we need to spread the days of the week apart, so let's make the global column width wider. This affects all the columns in the spreadsheet at the same time. Are you ready? Here we go. From the menu, type W to select Worksheet, and G to select Global. Type C to select Column Width. Yes, 123 wants to know the column width again. Remember how we used the left arrow key to set the width for column A? Press the right arrow key until the column is 11 characters wide and finish with Enter. There! The days of the week look nicer.
Professor, do we have to reset the width of column A since we've changed the global column width?
No, Pam, we don't. Global column width settings don't affect those columns that we set individually. Let's enter the number of cookies each of the cookie cutters cut on Monday. Move the cursor to B3 and enter 251. Now don't forget to press the down arrow key instead of Enter so you can move to B4 and finish the cell entry in one keystroke. Don't worry if you don't remember just yet. It will come soon enough. Next, enter 184 in B4 and 322 in B5. The next step is to type total in A6 so that we know what the numbers in row 6 mean. The important thing is that you remember to begin with an A plus and use the address of the cells where the numbers are instead of the numbers themselves. Let's enter the formula now. You need to make sure the cell pointer is sitting where you want your answer. In this case, we need to place it in B6. Begin by typing plus. Then type B3 and another plus. B4, another plus, and B5. Look in the control panel and make sure your formula is the same as ours. If it isn't, use the backspace key to correct it. When you are satisfied, press Enter. Wow! Did you see how fast 123 added those numbers together? Let's take a look at all the information we have available to us about the current cell. Up here in the control panel, you can see the current cell address, and right next to it is the formula exactly as you entered it. In the spreadsheet, you can see the results of the formula. So, anytime you see a number in a spreadsheet, you put the cell pointer on it and look up in the control panel to figure out where that number came from, if it was typed or the result of a formula. Now that you know how to enter labels, numbers, and formulas, let's make our spreadsheet look like the one on the screen. You can pause if you would like and type the numbers for the other days of the week on your own. I'll show you the complete screen so you can verify your progress. We have all the numbers filled in for a whole week of cookie cutting. Shall we see what we would like to do next? You guessed it. We are going to write the formulas that add up the remaining 4 columns of numbers. One of the nicest things about 123 is the copy command. It allows us to copy formulas instead of writing them over for each column or row of numbers we want added up. Well, we can copy that formula for Tuesday also. Let's do that next. First, make sure the cell pointer is on the cell you want to copy, B6. Bring up the menu and select Copy. Are you still needing help with the procedure? Remember, press a / to bring up the menu and C to select Copy. This is the prompt you will see in the control panel. 123 wants to know what you want to copy. Well, we want to copy the formula in B6, so we'll press Enter to confirm the copy from range. 123 wants to know where to copy the formula to. Let's just copy it into C6. So press the right arrow key one time. Did you notice that the cell address changed in the control panel when you move the cell pointer? It displays C6, and that is where we want to copy our formula. So let's press Enter. See how column C just got added? This is great, isn't it?
Yes, but is there a way to copy the formula to more than one column at a time?
Very alert, Pam. Yes, we can. Why don't we copy the formula into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's total cells? If the cell pointer is not on C6, move it there before you do anything else. Let's begin by bringing up the menu. Press a /. Select Copy by typing C. Again, 123 wants to know the range to copy from, and we'll confirm the current cell by pressing Enter. The range to copy to is a little different this time because we want to copy the formula into more than one cell. See how 123 has suggested a cell address to copy our formula to? We need to move the cell pointer one cell to the right again. So press the right arrow again. This locates the cell pointer in D6. If we pressed Enter, the formula would be copied to this column. But remember, we want it to copy into Thursday's and Friday's columns also. The period key is how you anchor the cell pointer. Anchoring means locking the cell pointer on one cell so you can expand it to include other cells. Let's anchor the cell pointer. Press the period key and notice that the cell address in the control panel displays D6 ... D6. Now that the cell pointer is anchored, press the right arrow key 2 times and watch it expand to include E6 and F6. This tells 123 to copy the formula into all 3 cells at once. Press Enter to finish and watch 123 add those columns up. You know, we haven't taken time to save this work of art yet. Let's do that next. Remember, your spreadsheets must be saved to the disk, or they will be lost when you quit 123. As usual, if we want to do anything other than enter information, we need to bring up the menu, so press / and select File from the menu by pressing F. (123) wants to know what to do with the file, so press S to select Save. This is where we give our file a name. There are very specific rules for naming files, and they are governed by DOS. If you know how to use DOS, you already know the rules for naming files. All you need to know is that file names can be made up of letters and numbers. They may not contain spaces, and they can be from 1 to 8 characters long. 123 adds a 3-character extension to the file name. The extension is WK1. Give this file the name Cutup by typing it in the control panel and pressing Enter. Your file has just been saved on the disk. You should do this often when you work with 123. Remember, you can't save a file too often.
What happens to my file the next time I save it?
Each time you save a file, it is copied over the top of the earlier version that is on the disk. After we make some more changes, we'll save the file again to keep the difference between the first save and the subsequent save. Shall we do some more design work? This illustration shows our next step, totaling each cookie cutter's daily work. See the totals in column G? Let's add this column to our spreadsheet. First, move the cell pointer to cell G2 and type total, followed by the down arrow, which enters the word total and moves the cell pointer to G3. Next, we will add up each person's cut cookies for the week. We could write a formula like this one, but you can see that this requires lots of typing. Imagine typing a formula that adds 100 cells together. That would take a long time. So 123 has a better way. 123 has over 50 functions you can use to help make formulas easier to write and use. The sum function, pictured here, is a good example of the way a function works. The @ sign tells 123 that you are going to use a function. The word sum is the function's name, and the arguments are contained in parentheses. The argument for the sum function is the range of cells to be summed. Let's write the formula that will total bill sales for the week using the sum function. First, position the cell pointer on G3 if it isn't there already. Begin the formula by typing the @ sign. Now type sum. Don't type any spaces in the formula. Next, we need to type a left parentheses followed by the address of the first cell in the range that will be summed. Let's see, the cell is B3, so type B3, a period, and F3, the last cell in the range we want summed. Type a right parentheses to finish the formula and press Enter. See, the results appear just like we wanted. Remember how to copy? We want this formula copied for Mary, Liz, and the bottom total. The cell pointer should be at G3, and this is what we want to copy. So bring up the menu by pressing /, followed by a C for copy, and 123 wants to know the range to copy from again. So press Enter to confirm that you want to copy the contents of G3. 123 wants to know the range to copy to. Press the down arrow key to move the cell pointer down to cell G4. This is the beginning of the copy to range. Anchor the cell pointer again by pressing a period. Press the down arrow key twice. This expands the cell pointer to include the range of cells that we want the formula copied into. Finish the copy command with Enter. Now that we have made these changes, we should save our spreadsheet again. Remember, you can't save a spreadsheet too often. Let's save it again. Press / to bring up the menu. Press F to select File and S to select Save. See, 123 is suggesting that we have our file using the same name as before. And sure enough, that's exactly what we're going to do. So press Enter. Look at that. 123 wants us to confirm that we are going to replace the copy of this file that is already on the disk. Let's press R and save our latest version of this spreadsheet. Let's see what happens when we change a number. Suppose we type the wrong number for Mary on Wednesday. All we have to do is put the cell pointer on the incorrect cell and type a new number. Go ahead, move the cell pointer to D4. Type 954 and watch what happens. Wow, again, 123 recalculated the whole spreadsheet faster than a blink.
Professor, can I change any number in the spreadsheet and get instant results?
Yes, you can, Pam. Just remember not to type numbers where you have written formulas, because the formulas behind those cells are what causes the results to appear. You know what? This spreadsheet would look better if there were a line separating the total row from the rest of the rows above it. We'll need to insert a blank row at row 6 and put a double line across there to make our spreadsheet look more legible. This is how to do it. Move the cell pointer to A6, press / to bring up the menu, press W to select Worksheet, press I to select Insert, and R to select Row. 123 wants to know how many rows to insert. We only want one, so press Enter. By golly, there is a new blank row for us to play with. Next, we'll create the double line across the screen using the repeating key. The / key is called the repeating key. All you do is put the cell pointer in the cell you want filled and press /, followed by the character you want to fill the cell. In this case, let's use the equals sign. Go ahead and do it now. Naturally, you have to press Enter or an arrow key to finish the entry. Did you see that cell fill up with all those little equal signs? Let's copy the cell we just filled in all the way across to column G. Make sure the cell pointer is on the cell full of equal signs. A6 and press slash to bring up the menu. Press C to select copy and enter to confirm the current cell as the range to copy from. 123 wants the range to copy to. Move the cell pointer one cell to the right with the right arrow key and anchor it with the period. Remember, we have to tell 123 that we are going to expand the cell pointer by anchoring it at the beginning of the copy to range. Press the right arrow key until the cells in row 6 are highlighted all the way to column G and press enter to finish. Notice that the line goes clear across the screen, and if you ever change column widths again, the cells will always be filled with a double line because you used the repeating key to create it. Did you notice something? Even though we inserted a new row in our spreadsheet, the formulas in this row are still valid. 1, 2, 3 is pretty smart that way. When you insert or delete rows and columns, the formula is addressed to accommodate their new position. Well, Pam, why don't we print this spreadsheet and see how it looks?
That sounds like a good idea. How do we do it?
First, we better make sure the printer is on and it has paper in it. If you're ready, let's print the spreadsheet. Start by moving the cell pointer to A1 and pressing slash to bring up the menu. Press P to select print and P again to select printer. The print menu is displayed next, but before we tell 1, 2, 3 to go, we need to specify the print range, so press R to select range. See, 1, 2, 3 is asking us to highlight the range we want to print. Well, we want to print our whole spreadsheet. The cell pointer is not anchored, so press the period and notice the print range say A1 through A1. Now press the right arrow key until you get to the column G. Then press the down arrow key until you get to row 7. There, the whole spreadsheet is highlighted, so we can press enter. You have to press A to select a line. Nothing visible happens, but this step adjusts the top of the paper, so 1, 2, 3 will begin printing without advancing the paper in the printer first. Get in the habit of pressing A before printing. The next step is to press G for go and watch our spreadsheet print. When the printer is done, it won't feed the paper, so we need to press P to select page, or use the arrow keys to highlight the page and press enter. This tells 1, 2, 3 to feed the piece of paper all the way through the printer, or do a form feed if you want to use the technical term. When we are done printing, the print menu is still displayed in the control panel. Just press Q to select quit and return to the spreadsheet. Let's erase all the weekly detail from our spreadsheet and save a master copy of it for future use. Move the cell pointer to B3. That's the upper left corner of the range we want to erase. Next, press slash to bring up the menu, and press R to select range. From the range menu, press E to select erase. There is the prompt again. 1, 2, 3 wants us to highlight the range we want to erase. So press the right arrow key until you get to column F, and the down arrow key until you get to row 5. Finish by pressing enter. Look at all those zeros. That's good. Now we have a blank spreadsheet that we can save as a master to be filled in weekly. Next, let's save this spreadsheet and name it master.
Okay, Professor. But what will happen to the original file we created earlier?
It's saved with the name cut up already, Pam. It will still be there just as we saved it the last time. Let's go over the procedure again. Press slash to bring up the menu and press F to select file. Press S to select save. There's the file name prompt showing the name of this file. We want to save a copy called master though, so type master. Did you notice that as soon as you started typing, the old file name disappeared from the file name prompt? Good. Now that you have typed the new file name, press Enter to save the file. You now have 2 work files on the disk, one that is filled in with 1 week's cookie cuttings, and one that is blank to be used for next week's cutting. Remember our discussion about a master spreadsheet? Well, let's erase this spreadsheet even though it is our master. Let's pretend it is next week. We have to retrieve master from the disk. One thing we do need to know first is how to erase a worksheet from the screen. This enables us to clear our work area so we can create new worksheets. Start by pressing / to bring up the menu and pressing W to select worksheet. From the worksheet menu, press E to select erase. Look up in the control panel again. 123 wants us to select an answer. By pressing Y, we select yes, which will erase the current spreadsheet. Go ahead and press Y, and there we go. The spreadsheet is blank. Let's assume it is next week. We just started 123 and we want to retrieve our master spreadsheet, so we can fill in the weekly cookie cutting. Start by pressing / to bring up the menu. Press F to select File and R to select Retrieve. Take a look at the control panel. 123 is asking us for the name of the file we want to retrieve. And by gosh, it is showing the names of the files on the disk right there on the line underneath the prompt. Now all we have to do is highlight Master using the arrow keys and press Enter to retrieve it. Go ahead and do that now. Well, Pam, we have learned a lot today. I think it's time to end this lesson and let you practice what you've learned.
Great. I think I could use a practice.
We still have to learn how to shut 123 off or quit, as the saying goes. Don't worry about the current spreadsheet. We haven't entered anything, and we have a copy on the disk to use later. All we have to do is press / to bring up the menu one last time, and press Q to select Quit. 123 wants us to press a Y to confirm that we want to quit. Press Y to confirm, and we are back at the Access System menu. Next, we have to press E to select Exit. Once we get here, we can turn our computer off if we want. Well, thank you, Pam. You did a great job.
Thanks, Professor. You made learning easy. I can't wait for my next Lotus lesson.
Remember, Pam, if you want to visit with me again, just start this tape over, and you can catch up on everything you missed. See you again whenever you want. By the way, you know, I have many instructional tapes on popular software programs. Happy learning. Goodbye for now.